Hey everyone, it's that time of year again where everybody talks about reading goals and the Read Harder challenge, so let's discuss that. If you've been following me around for a while, you know that I stopped setting myself strict reading goals because I never actually do them. I feel restricted and kind of like punished by doing them. Let me explain that, especially when looking at the Read Harder challenge. When the challenge appeared on BookTube, I think 2015, I was pretty intrigued by it. I didn't really want to set myself those goals to read those books, but I really liked comparing the books I read throughout the year without trying to achieve that challenge of how many of those I actually completed. And there's a video of me doing that in 2015. I didn't do it last year and I won't do it this year again. Mainly because I noticed that a lot of the challenges for this year I didn't really find interesting. There weren't many of the challenges that I wanted to do. And it's not that I thought they were particularly challenging. I just thought, why would I want to read books like that? Why would I look for a book that is 100 miles around my location? I hardly read German books. And 100 miles around my location, there aren't that many interesting books that I would want to read. This might be an easier challenge if you live in New York or London, for example, but for a lot of people, this might be completely redundant and stupid. And it would force you to pick up a book that you probably won't enjoy because you have to read it and you don't want to read it. That is something that I noticed with the Read Harder challenge this year, that there were a lot of challenges that I just didn't want to read, like a lot of comics. Those were there the years before as well, and I just skipped those because I'm not that interested in reading comics, and graphic novels are super expensive and it's not that easy to get them from the library here. So I don't really want to do all the challenges. Yet I still look at it every year because I'm interested to see what other people find challenging. And that is something that I think is very interesting about the Read Harder challenge, that a lot of people feel the need to challenge themselves to read those kind of books, to look for that. And I applaud you if you need that help and you want to do it. But I don't think it's necessary to force ourselves to read books that we're genuinely not interested in. I know that the challenge is supposed to broaden your reading horizon, but let's be honest, I have a pretty wide range reading horizon and I know what I like, and I pick up books that I have no clue about all the time, and I read a lot of things that I wouldn't have picked up if I had known what they were about. So that is not something that works for me. Just the same with restrictive reading goals, with trying to read a certain amount of female or male authors, or with certain plot stories or things that haven't worked for me in the past. So I usually work better with open goals. I honestly like the Goodreads challenge, where I set my goal to 70 books and try to read 1.5 books a week. Some years I do well, others I do not so well, like this year. And I also like to challenge myself again for my TBR, because I didn't do that well this year. For those of you who don't know, I really like my TBR to be small and current. That means I don't want to have books in there that have been sitting in there for years. So for the past few years, I've been trying to reduce my TBR and read old books in there. I've been doing pretty well up until this year, but my reading hasn't been that well this year, for multiple reasons. So I'm hoping that next year I can increase that again. But doing that already limits my choice of books to read, because I want to read the 30-something books in my TBR, and then I cannot fulfill challenging tasks in reading this or that kind of book if it's not in my TBR. So there are conflicting goals here, and I don't know, I'm conflicted with all these things. I like challenges. I do better when I have goals to reach, but when they're too restricted, I do horrible with them. So let's talk about this. How are your reading goals? How are your experiences with your reading goals in the past? Have you been doing well with really strict rules or more loose, open rules? What are you doing? Let's talk in comments about this. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.